Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of At Home with George. And I've just been on Dawn News, and that was a very interesting topic. We were talking about some of the stuff we were talking about earlier, a couple of days back, about resources for children and how to keep your children and teens entertained. But today, I want to talk about the positives. What are the positives that can come out of this enforced quarantine? And some of you might be thinking, that's a really glib thing to say. And I don't want to sound glib. I want to sound as though I'm not aware of the seriousness of the situation we're all in. We're all scared, we're all worried, we're all concerned. There are people obviously severely ill and sick, and some are dying. But for the vast majority of us, we are in a situation that is causing us a lot of anxiety and a lot of concern, rightly so. And so I don't want to sound glib about this, but I think it is also important to see what are the positives that can come out of this. And Russell Brand had a really interesting video that he put out recently on this subject, and I just wanted to sort of expand on that a little bit, because obviously it has forced us to sit and to stay and remain within our homes, this situation. And it has caused, as a result, I think, a period of reflection in all of us that perhaps we didn't have in our busy lives previously, because we were so busy and we were concerned about how our hair looked, or how many likes we had on Instagram or on Facebook or Twitter, and how much money we had in our bank account. And whilst, as I said, I don't want to sound glib, there are issues that people generally have with potentially losing their jobs. This can be an opportunity to force us to look at what really matters in life. And it isn't the Instagram likes, it isn't the bank balance, it isn't how good my hair looks or doesn't look, as the case may be. It is about what's important, which is family, friends, and love. At the end of the day, it's all about love. The Beatles had it right when they said all you need is love. And I think some of the positives that have come out for me during this period is, not only have I been able to connect with you guys at home, which I wasn't doing properly before. I was doing videos, but I wasn't actually connecting in a meaningful dialogue. But also I've been connecting with a lot of old friends, because I used to always think, should I call Ed or my friends back in the UK, or I have friends in Australia and New Zealand as well. And I always used to think, well, no, because they're going to be at work, or they're going to be busy, or they're going to, they're busy with their lives. And I never used to connect as much as I have been doing in the last few days. But now I know that they're not busy, they're going to be at home, and I can connect with them. And so I've been reaching out, and I think this has given me an opportunity to think, if this is the end of the world, which it isn't, by the way, but it gives you an opportunity to reach out and connect with all those people that you haven't in the last weeks and months. And that's what I've been doing. So that's for me, one of the positives that have come out of this forced quarantine. As I said, the other positive is it's stopped me from focusing on the superficial, the bank balance, the likes, the share, all that crap, quite frankly, that it isn't real. What's real is human to human contact. And whilst we can't necessarily have that physically, we can have it online. And I think that's what I've been doing, reaching out to friends and family and to you guys out here. So, love, that is what's important. That's what's important. So strengthening your connections with your friends, your family, that's what you should be doing. And that's a positive that's come out of this. I think it's given us a time to pause and reflect and think what kind of opportunity to think what kind of future we want as a world. And I don't think the world will ever be the same post-corona. Somebody was talking about BC and AC, and before Corona and after Corona. And I don't think the world is going to be the same. Now, it could go down a very dangerous route of more enforced control by the governments and authoritarian regimes that will track and monitor our every move, or we can choose a different path. And that path could be a path where we are focused less on the materialistic and on the instant gratification, and we focus more on the spiritual and on the inside, rather than the external and the outside. So that is potentially a positive that may arise out of this. For me, another positive has been me being able to focus on my health. I think this has really forced me to consider how important health is, especially as a father of young children. And so, and because I'm stuck inside all day, I have been focusing on my health in terms of my diet and in terms of what I do in physical activity, because that has been really important for me to stay sane during this period. So that has been really important. It's allowed me and given me the time to focus on my health. Because always I was like, I haven't got time to go to the gym, or I haven't got time to exercise, I haven't got time to eat right, I'll just grab whatever's in the fridge. But now that I'm actually having to cook my own food, well, I can make the choice of what I want to cook. I'm not just going to go for the charbel every time, because I'm not actually cooking charbel. I'm making salads. I'm making things that I want to eat rather than relying on what someone else is giving me. So it's given me the opportunity to focus on my health, and very much from a survival instinct, because I want to be healthy as possible for me, so that I can look after them. I think it's this crisis, this situation, has also allowed me to savor the small moments. I talked to you a couple of days ago about me cleaning the toilets and focusing on that, but not just that, but it's allowed me to, I've been listening to the birds more, because the traffic is so much quieter. I've been hearing the birds outside singing their songs in the morning on the balcony. And those are the sort of small things that I take for granted. I read a report about the dolphins coming back to the canals in Venice, because there's no tourists and there's no motorboats and sort of pollution there to push them away. And so that is another benefit that we're seeing, that we're seeing nature reclaim some of the spaces that have been occupied by human beings for so long. So again, that is a positive. Anyway, that's what I feel is some of the positives to come out of this. As I said, I don't want to be glib. Obviously, I know this is a humanitarian crisis, and there are a lot of people that are sick and very, very ill. But I think it is important for us to also look at what opportunities can come out of chaos and come out of a crisis. And these are some of the positives that I feel are there. Now, I'd like to know what you guys are thinking. What do you feel are the positives that you have experienced? Perhaps you've taken up a new hobby. Perhaps it's given you time to read those books that you hadn't read before, those classic books or classic films. Let me know what are the positives that you are experiencing from being at home and being forced into quarantine. Anyway, I'm going to go to the chats now. I've got Instagram Live going as well as YouTube Live. So what is everyone saying? Okay, I'll start with Insta. Just lots of people are joining. Assalamualaikum from Scotland. How are you? I'm good, Abra. I have tension of losing my job, Suma. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as I said, that is a genuine concern, and these are tough times economically, and people will lose their jobs. But it's also an opportunity to think, well, is that the job I want to be in? Is that the career I really wanted? Or is that something that I just sort of kind of fell into? So the reality is that it is an opportunity for you to reassess if you do lose your job, to reassess and to think about really where you want to be in your life, because you can take it as an opportunity, as you know, one door closes, another door opens, or you can get really concerned about it and fearful. And you're not going to be the only one in that situation. There will be lots of others in that situation. And I'm not trying to, as I say, downplay or downgrade the real concerns of being under economic hardship, because those are realities that this situation will create. But it is also an opportunity for you to really focus on what you want to do with your life, and for us to think about, you know, we're only going to be on this planet for 60, 70, 80 odd years. What do we want to do in those 80 years? Is it what we're currently doing, or do we want to do something else? So use that as a time to reflect and think. Lots of people have joined. I'm not seeing many comments. Well said on New Earth values coming out. Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing is, you know, the ecological fact of, you know, do we want to see the world in the current form with the pollution that it's being caused, the air pollution, everything? Is this a time for us to think about the ecological implications of mankind on this earth and what we can do to improve and change it? If you become president, prime minister of any country, what kind of rules and regulations would you like to implement? If I was to become, well, let's talk about Pakistan. If I was to become president and prime minister of Pakistan, I think I would make littering a jailable offence. That would be my number one rule, because I think I mean, Pakistan is such a beautiful country. We have such a diverse geography, from the mountains in the north to the deserts in Balochistan and in Sindh. And the worst things done to this country are by us, the people, in terms of littering and polluting and just trashing this beautiful land of ours. So I would make sure that there would be heavy fines for both industries, hospitals and industries that cause all these beaches to be polluted and the rivers to be polluted and the seas to be polluted, and also on human individuals for littering. So that's what I would do. Can you make a request for people to stay at home? Obviously, yes. I hope that message has got through by now. If you're not at home, don't be a COVIDiot. I think that's what they're calling it now, COVIDiot. Stay at home, be safe, be sensible, keep washing your hands, and make sure you self-isolate. If you're not doing that, you're an idiot. Okay, so please do that. Good, unless you have to go out for your, genuine essential worker that needs to go out. Good morning from the Isle of Lewis in Scotland. Oh my goodness, how lovely. Isle of Lewis. My family, the Fulton family, is originally from the Isle of Islay in Scotland. Anyway, thank you. We are. My full name is George Angus Macmillan Fulton, so I'm very Scottish, or half Scottish anyway. So lovely to hear from you, Dr. Sanya. Okay, let's go to YouTube now. Hello. Hi, Desi. Fahad. Hi, how's it going, Fahad? Yeah, good, thanks. Good morning. I like you, boss. Thank you, Nazim. I'm not the boss. I'm just your friendly neighborhood friend. Hello. Good day, May. Good day, Hamid. I think that's the positive of this virus, is that our nature is having some relax. Yeah, I think another positive that I see is, obviously we are seeing the best of humanity as well as the worst of humanity. Any kind of crisis often produces the best and worst of humanity. The worst is obviously the people that are trying to profiteer from buying up all the masks and all the hand sanitizers and trying to sell them at a higher price. And all these people going off and hoarding and buying 15 years worth of loo roll and things like that. But the best of humanity are those people who are going out and, despite the dangers posed to them, of going and fighting this disease on the front line, the doctors, the nurses that are fighting this on the front line, and also the people that are coming together to support their neighbours and their elderly neighbours and their elderly family members. A friend of mine, Anushe Ashraf, you might know of her. She's obviously RJ and a very well-known person in Pakistan, and she has done a wonderful thing by organising a drive to buy ration packs for the daily wage workers, because obviously they are being impacted dramatically by this because they're not able to do their daily work because they're self-isolating, and that has a real economic impact on them and being able to buy their food for their families. So she did a drive to, along with the Robin Hood Foundation, I think, to get donations for ration packs. So I think that's another positive, is seeing the best of humanity coming out in that respect. Hi George, how are you? How's the quarantine going? That's from Iman. Yeah, the quarantine's going okay. I went for a long walk today, so I'm feeling good. Obviously, I made sure I was 6 feet away from anybody I walked past. But yeah, I'm feeling good. Thanks. I think you can still go out and walk as long as you're not near anybody. Hello, George. Hi, Moise and Mohib. A brilliant person with varying nature. I love you. Comedy world. Thank you. So do you remember Shafi Ullah Khatak from Karak? He was my uncle and your colleague. Yes, I think I do. Yes, I do remember him. Assalamu alaikum, Faye. How are you? Always good to hear from you. Quarantine positive, being in home even on Monday. Yeah, that's maybe the positive. You're not having to go to work. That could be a positive, I suppose, if you don't like your job. But as I say, it's also a positive to think about, okay, well, if you really are not happy in your job, do you want to do that job? Are you being the best version of yourself that you can be? Is this time to pause, reflect, and reimagine where you want to be in the next 5 or 10 years with your life? Yeah, it's a time for, I think, deep reflection, in the way that I think Ramzan is a time for reflection for a lot of people. This can be another period of reflection for people. Faye Fahan is saying, I'm working in Baria Enclave in Islamabad. We're off due to this virus situation. Now we're at home, not going anywhere. Hi, George. I'm your biggest fan, Minahil. Hi, Minahil. How are you? Are you in Pakistan these days? Yes. मैं पाकिस्तान में रहता हूँ, मैं कराची में रहता हूँ. You're talking about life skills, George. George, you feel sick? No, I don't feel sick. I'm feeling very well, thank you. Are you still living in Pakistan? Yes, I'm in Karachi. I like your law. Nice being a PM of Pakistan. Thank you. Yes. Hopefully, I don't think I would want to be a PM. But it's a great onus of a job, and I pray for all those people who are in charge that they make the wisest and best decisions for our country. Can this corona affect animals? That I'm not sure. Well, I think we know that it may have been passed on from an animal. I think they anticipate that it might have been a mixture of bat or rat cross contamination. I don't know whether it can affect animals or not, but I would keep your pets and animals away from, I would make them self-isolate as well, just in case. Salam, George, how do you do? Hope you're safe. Thank you. You always make us smile. Thank you, Minho. Hi from Canada. Been quarantined for a week now, adjusting to the new normal. Yeah, I think that's really do. What's in my control? Well, what's in my control is I can eat. I can eat healthy. I can do the exercise that I've always wanted to do. I can do the reading I've always wanted to do. I can watch the films I've always wanted to do. I can do my hobbies that I've always wanted to take up. That's in my control. What's not in my control, I can't control. It's what I talked about yesterday about the circle of concern and the circle of influence. There's no point worrying about the circle of concern of all the worries that you cannot control about this coronavirus and about the self-isolation. What you can only focus on is the circle of influence and focus on what you can influence in your life to make it as positive and better as possible. Hi, Hardy. It's hi, sir. I'm watching from Dubai. Hi. Hi, George. I like when you try hard to talk in Urdu. Hi, yeah. Yeah, my Urdu is really sucks, I'm afraid. George, how many children do you have? I have 2 children. I have a boy called Fez, and I have a girl called Maya. You always make hope you're safe. George, I love no new challenge with Shanira Bobby. I'm thinking that we might try and do a challenge. Obviously, we're self-isolated, so I might try and do a challenge online with her. I'm just trying to think what we can do. If you have a suggestion, let me know. Hi, George. So much best wishes from Sweden. Hi, guys. Okay. Hi, Minal. Thank you. You're the best from Lahore. Thank you. You really are my number one. Thank you. Hi, George. Love from Glasgow. Hi, Glasgow. Not Glasgow. Qasim from Glasgow. Qasim Ali Shah. Okay. So someone's written, which city is your favorite in Pakistan? I'm not going to get into that because I'll get into a lot of trouble with all those who are not in that city. But just suffice to say, I love the history of Lahore. I love the history and culture of Lahore. I love the greenery of Islamabad, and I love the people and the vibe and the atmosphere of Karachi. And as for Faisalabad and Quetta and all these other cities, I love them. And Peshawar, they're also fantastic as well. Anyway, for those who've just joined, just to tell you what we're talking about today is some of what are the positives that have come out of quarantine and being enforced to quarantine by the coronavirus. And as I said, I don't want it to be glib because obviously there are real issues impacting and affecting people. This is a humanitarian crisis, unprecedented crisis for the world, and there are people very, very sick and obviously dying. But for the rest of us who are in quarantine, what are some of the positives we can take away from this situation? And I said, one thing is strengthening our connections. One thing that I've been doing over the last few weeks is reaching out to people that I haven't reached out to for a long, long time, friends and family abroad especially. And I usually don't reach out to them because I think, they're busy or, they haven't got time and I don't want to impose. And now I know they do have time and that they're going to be at home and I can talk to them. So that's a positive that's come out for me. Another positive is the fact that it's allowed me to pause and reflect on what are the priorities in my life. We in our day-to-day lives, we get so consumed, as I said, with the superficial, the money in the bank and the likes and our superficial appearances and so on, that this has actually forced us to think about what's really important, and that's ultimately our family, our friends, mohabbat, PR, love. That's all you need is love. So that was another thing. Another positive is allowed me to focus on my health and really think about that as a opportunity to get as healthy as possible, because it's really given me that opportunity to stop and think and not just pick up whatever's given to me in terms of food. I just actually have to cook my own food so I can make healthier choices now. It's given me the time to exercise, whereas normally I complain or say I don't have the time to exercise, but I do in this situation. It's also allowed me to pause and reflect and look for the good in others. As I said, there are a lot of good that's being done by people in this situation, in this crisis, and it brings out the best in humanity, and we should celebrate that. And it's allowed us to sort of smell the roses, literally smell the roses. It's given us the time to think and to sit and contemplate. And you can hear the birds outside right now, and normally I'd be hearing rickshaws or the busy traffic, but I don't hear anything, I just hear the birds. And so those are some of the positives that are coming out for me. What are the positives for you? Let me know. Okay, let's say, what are you doing about your circle of influence in the quarantine? Well, as I said, Anam, I think it's Anam. I'm trying to eat healthily because I'm cooking my own food now rather than relying on somebody to cook for me. And I'm trying to exercise. I'm making sure that I have a routine. I make sure I am helping with the chores so that the house, the apartment remains clean. So those are all the things that I'm doing that are in my control to make sure that my life is as good as possible. Now I can't find a cure for the coronavirus. I'm not capable or qualified to do that. But what I am qualified to do is to try and eat as healthily as possible and to exercise as much as possible so that I'm as strong and healthy as possible. So that's all within the circle of my influence. And to get time to meditate and to de-stress and to spend time with my family and friends online. Those are all things I'm able to do. So that's within the circle of my influence, and that's what I'm doing. George, how do you control your temper when you're in an angry state? Oh, that's a really good question. First of all, it's okay to be angry as long as you don't let the anger control you. I think what the thing to do, I would say, is when you're in an angry state, take yourself away from the area that is causing you anger. So if it's with somebody, move yourself to another room, sit and breathe, do some deep breaths. Just sit and do some deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and do that several times. And that automatically, once you regulate your breathing, your anger should subside. That's one of the things I would recommend you do. You can take ideas from training from Wasim Akram. He has some anti-toxic juice yesterday video. Oh, okay. I will look at that. I could do potty training of my middle one, which was difficult to do with daily chores. Yeah, exactly. This is a great opportunity to do something that you've put off, like potty training, and say, okay, we have the time now. Let's train the kid to do potty training. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that, Taya. Fathers now spending more time with the children. That's a great positive, yeah, because dads or maybe out to work and busy, and now they're having the opportunity to really connect with their children and spend time with them and get to know their children. And normally they're too busy or they're rushing or they have like 5 minutes. But now it's a real opportunity for them to form real lasting emotional bonds with their children by playing games, by getting down to their level on the ground and engaging with those children. And that's one of the things that I've been really enjoying as well, is really having that quality time with Maya, my daughter, who's just about to turn 2. And because Kieran is working as well, I've been, we take it in turns to work. And I've been really getting to know her and what her tastes are in clothes and what she likes and what she doesn't like and how to manage her moods. And it's been a real learning experience, but it's been one that I treasure, and I've really enjoyed. So that's a really good point, that one of the positives is that fathers are now spending more time with their children. Well done. Canada just introduced a quarantine act where one must quarantine for 14 days as a mandatory measure, imposing fine if not followed. Good. You're such an amazing soul, George. Thanks a ton for always entertaining and bringing out the smiles. Bless you, mate. Stay safe and healthy. I mean, best wishes from Lincolnshire. Oh, whereabouts in Lincolnshire are you? Are you in Boston? No, Ed. Thank you, guys. I love Lincolnshire. It's very flat there, but I used to have a lot of fun in my childhood visiting a friend in Lincolnshire. Hello, Uncle. I am your fan. Thank you. Okay, now let's go to what is YouTube saying. Oh, well, lots of comment. Okay. Please talk with us in order. That would be so kind of you. See ya, okay. लेकिन मेरू बहुत खराब है मिनाल. No new challenge with Shinner, nahi. Hi George, love from Glasgow. Hello George, great to see you again. I'm sure you may get this back in the UK a bit, but you have a close resemblance to the British actor Nick Frost. What do you think? Well, I'm not sure about that. Thank you. Perhaps I need to lose some weight again. How are you going? See ya. Hi George from Yorkshire. All right, from Yorkshire. Mubasher, do you have a Yorkshire accent? Do you sound like Jeffrey Boycott? Mubasher. Hello. Dogs don't get corona. Okay, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to double check that. I love you and Shanira. Awesome combo. Thanks, Qasim. George, have you been to Azad Kashmir? I have. I've been to Mirpur in Azad Kashmir. Yeah. Corona came in Pakistan because of people who came back from Iran. Well, I think the reality is it's come from all over. Yes, there were a lot of cases in Iran, lekin there are a lot of people coming in from all over with Corona. So it was bound to reach Pakistan because it's reached almost every country in the world. So, George, do you like to play Monopoly? Actually, that's one game we haven't got in this house. I used to play it as a kid. I don't think I was very good at it, but yeah, I used to love it as a kid. But we don't have it in the house. But that's a great game to pass your time with in quarantine. George, very bad condition in UK about coronavirus. Yeah, it's bad all over, guys. Just stay safe, stay indoors, and look after yourself. Positive for me is that the whole family is spending time together. I'm back to cooking, exercise, and reading, and that's Sajida. Oh, that's fantastic, Sajida. Again, yeah, it's a really good time to connect with your family. And you're back to cooking, exercise, and reading. Again, it's amazing how I'm feeling more in control of my life in many respects than I was before Corona. And before Corona, I was spinning so many plates that I felt slightly out of control with my life. Whereas now I'm feeling a bit more in control because I have this set routine that I follow every day. And it's sort of more manageable because I'm not having to go anywhere. And so I just focus on one thing at a time and do it at that same time every day. And so it becomes a sort of almost sort of monastic life. Anyway, I'm glad you're surgery you're doing your cooking, exercise, and reading. Dear George, hope you're safe and doing well, but I want to know your perspective on the redundant endeavours of the respectable authorities when the general populace of the world do not comply. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say there, but I think everyone needs to comply because if they don't, they're going to get sick and some people are going to die. So, you need to comply. And I think the message has gone out very strongly through the media and through the government of the need to stay indoors, to self-quarantine, whilst we figure out how to eradicate the coronavirus from Pakistan and throughout the world. Good morning, George. It's 1:34 a.m. in Chicago, and I don't want to go to sleep before watching your live stream the third day in a row. Really enjoying the stream. Oh, thank you, AZ. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying it. As I said, today's topic is all about what are the positives to come out of the coronavirus. Obviously, there are a lot of negatives, and I don't want to be glib because this is a humanitarian crisis. A lot of people dying and are very sick, and there's also an economic crisis that's going to hit when people lose jobs and other things. But what are some of the positives we can think of now that are coming out of this? And as I said, I'll just summarize some of the things. Is that it's given me an opportunity to pause and reflect and think about what's important in my life. And I was so consumed by the superficial things like likes and bank balance and all that sort of crap. And now I really think that what's important is my family, my loved ones, and that's really what's important. It's allowed me the opportunity to strengthen my connections with my friends and family because I'm reaching out to them more than I was before. It's one of some of the positives is that it's allowed me to see the best in humanity and those people who are, whether it be the doctors and nurses on the front lines doing these heroic jobs, but also people doing the best in raising money and funds for people that are having difficulty in, especially the daily workers, in reaching and paying for their food. It has made me see the benefits of taking care of myself more in terms of my health. I've noticed the fact that things seem to be better from an ecological point of view. We're seeing the dolphins return to the canals in Venice, and we're seeing the birds sing more, or we're hearing the birds sing more now because there are no tuk-tuks and motorbikes going past. So those are some of the positives that I'm taking away from this. What are they for you? Let me know. Hi, George. Hope your family is safe. Yes, they are. Thank you. Hi, love you, George. Bye from Abbottabad. Hi. How is your family doing in this isolation time? Playing any Urdu guessing games? Actually, that's a good idea. Perhaps we should do Urdu Pictionary or Urdu to improve my Urdu. We can do like Urdu Pictionary or Urdu charades. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I'll suggest that with Kieran tonight. Good on you, George. Stay blessed. Please don't get affected. And likewise, I don't want any of you guys to get affected. So stay indoors, wash your hands, and keep safe. What's your favorite movie to watch in isolation? Well, I think obviously nothing that is too depressing. I think, what I would suggest is you watch something that makes you laugh. And a silly movie at that. There was a really funny movie. Obviously, humorous movies I think are the best to watch in isolation at the moment because we need to be cheered up. Whether it be something like Dumb and Dumber or the Pink Panther films, those old. And then I watched a really funny film the other day with Kieran and Fez, and it was called, oh God, the name escapes me. Okay, you guys, you'll be able to tell me what the film is. It stars Amir Khan and Salman Khan, and they're these two idiots, and they're trying to fall in love. They're trying to marry this girl because they want to get some money from her or something. And it's a very silly film, but it was a lot of fun. I remember laughing a lot during that. Can anyone tell me what the name of the film? It's an old film. Amir Khan and Salman Khan. Anyway, I believe the middle-class people are privileged enough not to be greatly impacted by the lockdown Many will adversely affect the lives of the downtrodden labourers. Your thoughts? Ali, yeah, I think it is going to inversely, I think it's going to affect every strata of society. I think the middle class will be hurt as well, because I think there are a lot of jobs that will go, salaried jobs that will go because of this, because people won't have the cash flow to pay for salaries. Things like, events companies, advertising companies, they're going to go under with this. But yes, certainly, obviously, the downtrodden labourers will be greatly impacted. And I think it's imperative that we have some kind of economic bailout plan for these people. We're seeing in the UK, the finance minister there has announced a £350 billion bailout. And I think because it's going to affect all the pubs and the clubs and the restaurants in the UK, it's going to affect similar, well, not pubs, but restaurants and places of leisure here in Pakistan. So I think it would be good for the government to think of a similar bailout scheme for those people. Anyway, you're the person makes us happy and smile. I saw you each and every video. Love from Lahore. Thank you, Liba. Sorry. What is it? What is it time now? What time is it now? It's I think it's about 11:40. I think. Assalamu alaikum, George. Quarantine, George. How difficult is it for a foreigner to live permanently in Pakistan? I think, again, Ishan, I think you need to make sure, don't expect Pakistan to be anywhere other than Pakistan. I think as a foreigner, you need to change your mindset and to go with the flow when it comes to living in Pakistan. As long as you change your mindset and don't expect it to be like where you're from, it's okay. Okay. Hey, it's 2:37 in Canada. Love your videos. How do you get the role in Aleph? And great job in Aleph. Okay. How did I get the job? I think I just got a phone call from somebody who was working on the production, and they needed a Gora to play the role of this Hollywood director. And there aren't many Goras in Karachi, and obviously I'm quite well known here. So they just called me up. And yeah, I did that. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was really it's excellent. Really enjoying your live stream and having fun watching you after this again. Locked at home. Apna or family kya hal rakho, George? Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. Excellent to hear from you. Huge fans. Also, how may we get things such as Bob's, vegan and poozy in the time of coronavirus quarantine, especially in Pakistan? What's Bob's? I don't know what that is, Ali. Are there any plans for George to Pakistan too? Hopefully. Let's think what we can do for that. George, can you do Urdu live stream for the whole live stream? You speak Urdu? Okay, let me think about that. Let me see if I can do a whole Sirif Urdu, pura live stream ke liye. वो बहुत मुश्किल था. But okay, let me plan that, okay? Are you talking about Andaz Apna? Yes, that's exactly the film, Izan, I'm talking about. Andaz Apna. Please watch that. That's a great film to watch in a time of Corona. It was a silly film and it cheered me up enormously. Yeah, Amir Khan and Salman Khan, and it was just very, very funny. And it's still funny. Your phone number, please. I'm a little kid and your fan. I'm not going to give out my phone number, I'm afraid, but I'm glad you're my fan, and I wish you all the best, okay? But you can reach out to me here, okay? George, collaborations with other YouTubers as well. It will take fun trip to Katapur. Yeah, I am collaborating with other YouTubers as well. Where do I live in Karachi? Well, I was living in a place called KDA, but I'm now living in Clifton. I just moved a month or so back. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. You look so cute while speaking Urdu. Ah, thank you. लेकिन उर्दू ये उर्दू मेरे लिए मुश्किल है क्योंकि लॉजिक नहीं है. Oh, Urdu is बहुत मुश्किल. You know, ये words like Khan, Ghusl Khana. These are very difficult for me. George Bhai, कैसे हो आप? मैं ठीक हूँ. आप कैसे हैं? आप खैरियत से? Anyway, so I think that's probably about all we have time for today. I just wanted to talk to you about some of the positives that we can think of that might come out of being in quarantine. And I hope you guys try and remain positive and try and think of some of the positives that you are experiencing from being in quarantine. So someone's written, I'm watching Harry Potter in quarantine. What about you? We've actually watched Harry Potter recently as well. Yeah. Fez loves that because you're not familiar with this language. Yeah. I'm a big fan of you. Thank you. I'm watching you from Australia. G'day, mate. Right. So yeah, today we've talked about some of the positives. Just wish you all to remain positive. We will get through this. And it's going to be tough, but we will get through this and we'll come out on the other side stronger, happier, and inshallah healthier. So until tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I'll say Kuda Hafiz and goodbye. Okay, see you guys.